Let's turn to exploring the Shema discussions on the issues of Trinity, and let's conclude our section on the Eastern Orthodox Church, Latter-day Saints, the Filioque debate. We've been talking about that. I probably spent more time than I really should have, because most of evangelical Christians aren't really interested in that particular topic. Most of us don't even know what the Filioque debate is even about, right? Many evangelical Christians are not that interested in following the great schism between the Church of the West, aka the Catholics, and the Church of the East, aka the Greek Orthodox, or the Western, or the Eastern Church, Eastern Orthodox or Greek Orthodox, or something to that effect. Latin Church versus Greek Church, whatever terminology you wanted to use to describe it. In modern evangelical Protestant circles, that's just a topic that's not of importance to us. And so we're not really going to take a side when it comes to the Filioque debate. If we do take a side, because Protestantism is kind of an offshoot of Catholicism, if you read the explanation of the Catholic Church, the Western Church, on the procession of the Holy Spirit, that's the Filioque debate. Who sends the Holy Spirit? Is it the Father, or is it the Father and the Son? The Catholic answer is, of course, it's Father and Son in this mystery of the Trinity, where the Son is eternal with God the Father in a mysterious way, at the God level, and therefore it's entirely allowable to say that the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Son as well. The Eastern Church, of course, took umbrage with that, or took issue with that, because they say it kind of infringed on God the Father's identity as the Father alone, the arche, the source, the chief principle from which even the Trinity itself originates, or the idea of God is rooted in the Father alone. So we're drawing this part to a close. We looked at some definitions of the Holy Spirit and Trinity from Latter-day Saints. We used the Social Trinitarianism model to look at that. I've been flashing these two triangles on the screen, where one triangle is inverted, right? It's kind of what we look at as upside down, where the flat part is on the top and the point is on the bottom, and that is the Catholic model, where Father and Son are on the top and the Holy Spirit's on the bottom at the point. And we compare that to the Orthodox triangle, which is the right side up. That doesn't mean it's the right way. It just means it's the orientation is the way we normally think of when we think of triangles, where the base is at the bottom, the point is at the top, kind of the pyramid shape, and the point at the top is the Father, and the 2 points left and right on the base are Son and Holy Spirit. And that describes more or less the starting points of their theological Trinitarian aspect. In the end, as Protestants, I think most of us just look at those two triangles and go, what's the big deal? They both have Father, Son, Holy Spirit. They're both Trinitarian models, and therefore it's kind of just splitting hairs, or it's kind of just what do we say, playing with words when we're talking about the big differences between those two. But I don't want to minimize the theological differences that these two church groups have, but we did look at that. And so let me just read this concluding paragraph. We'll jump into the next section. I say in my commentary, so in conclusion, right? In conclusion to this section on the Filioque, the Eastern Orthodox Church, the Latter-day Saints, and the probable categorization of the Latter-day Saints under the model known as Social Trinitarianism, which I say is a model that emphasizes the threeness of God, yet runs the risk of failing to fully affirm the oneness of God. So we're talking about a Trinitarian model that, as far as I can ascertain, when I read through the Latter-day Saints theology, is not entirely accurate according to the biblical data that's given to us. Again, there's enough biblical information when we talk about Trinity for us to form conclusions and even convictions on who and what God is. But unfortunately, because of the additional amount of ambiguity in the text or equivocation on certain words like the word God and three, and the fact that the word Trinity itself doesn't even show up in the scriptures, the fact that there are passages that demonstrate ontological / economic realities of God, and we don't have further information illuminated to us, right? In other words, God gives us enough information so that we can form some conclusions, but we don't have all of the details. Right? If we did have all the details, we wouldn't have so many disagreements on the discussions on the issues of Trinity. But there's kind of a built-in information limitation aspect to the text, so that it causes us to have to stop and think